Hey, Spartan Engineers. I'm Jane Ivarian with the Center, and we're going to spend a few minutes talking about resume design. So I'm going to go ahead and share my screen, pull up the slide deck. So specifically, we're going to talk about how to create a value-centered and targeted resume. So I've separated this session into three parts. Part one, we'll talk about basic content and appearance. Part two, we'll dive into how to write about your skills and experiences. And then I want to introduce you to Skills First, which is our resume design software. So let's get started with basic content and appearance. So you need some minimum things on your resume. You need to make sure an employer can find you, so you need your contact information. So that's a section. Email address, LinkedIn URL, phone number. You can have your city and state, but you really don't need your street address anymore. You need an education section, so you want to highlight that you're enrolled at Michigan State. If you're a first-year student, maybe you want to also include your high school. After the first or second year of university, you really don't need to include your high school anymore. You need a section that can allow you to talk about your experiences, and then you need a skills section. So very minimum. You don't need much in your resume in terms of sections. Appearance, though, is really important. You want to keep it simple. You're going to use a basic Word document that you can convert into a PDF, and that's what you can use when you apply to a job. Why do you want to keep it simple? Very basic text. You don't want a lot. You don't want columns. You don't want tables. You don't want graphics, images, color. Those kinds of things, that kind of deeper formatting can create problems for the application tracking software, or ATS. I also call it the bot. Any sort of resume scanning tool that an employer might use can find columns and graphics and color and images problematic. Really, all an ATS or a resume scanner is doing is just scanning for keywords. So keep it really simple. So you can see here's a really good example of a very simple resume. I know it's boring, but the ATS, or the resume scanner, doesn't care. It's just looking for text. So we've got a couple of sections here. We've got contact information. You can see that that's highlighted. Education is highlighted for this particular student or person. We've got an experience section, and then we've got a section titled activities and skills. Again, minimum content. You don't need a whole lot of different sections on your resume. And here's the thing that's kind of cool. Our resume software, it takes care of all the formatting and appearance, and every single template that we're using in Skills First is ATS approved. So a resume scanner can pick up all the text. So feel free to use Skills First. It's a great way to build your resume. Okay, we've talked a little bit about basic content and appearance. Let's talk about writing your story or marketing yourself. We in the center use a framework that we call Who Logic, WHO. And it just helps you pitch your skills and experiences. It helps you, uncover the value of your skills and experiences. And all Who is a series of three questions that you ask yourself when you're thinking about experiences that you've had. So you think about, what did I do? How did I do the work? Meaning, what skills did I use? What methods or strategies did I use to get that work done? That's the how. And the outcome produced from your efforts. So that could be like the impact, the contribution, the results. Sometimes an outcome is just your learning. You've increased your learning about something. But the answers to the questions produce evidence of value. It's all about the how and the outcome. Most employers can look at job titles on your resume and they can pretty easily guess what you did. It's really about the how and the outcome that helps you get to the value of the work. And if you can write about it in a resume, then you can pitch it during networking sessions or recruiting events. You can verbally pitch these experiences during interviews. So who goes beyond just helping you write a value-centered resume that highlights your skills and experiences? It's getting you prepped to talk about yourself in a way that's really focused on the value of your skills and experiences. So how do you do this? How do you create resume value points? Yep, that's what we call them. We don't call them bullet points, we call them value points using WhoLogic. Well, first, you choose experiences to write about. You can write about all kinds of things. You can write about jobs that you've had for pay. You can write about internships, co-op, volunteering, club membership, course projects, research, or study abroad. And there are some other things you can choose to include in your experiences section as well. Once you do that, once you choose the experiences that you want to write about, then you choose the tasks and projects from each experience that have the potential to demonstrate value. So you don't have to write about everything that you did. You want to choose carefully. You want to think about those experiences. What tasks were the most valuable? Where did you use the most skills? Where was there a meaningful contribution? Once you choose your experiences and then tasks or projects to write about, then you evaluate using WhoLogic. And you go to those three questions. What did I do? How did I do the work? Yeah, the skills you use, the methods, the strategies, the technical tools. And what was the outcome? The value, the impact, the results. So here are a couple of examples of before and after using WhoLogic. So the first bullet point that you see comes from someone who's just writing about an experience they had. And the task was that they were responsible for social media. All right. That's a stuck in the what bullet point. I don't see the value. There's no how articulated or outcome. But after we apply WhoLogic, what did I do? How did I do the work? And the outcome produced, look what happens. And this is color coded so that you can easily see the what, the how, and the outcome. This person built a social media presence using coupons and time-sensitive campaigns, and they deployed Google Analytics. That's how they got the work done. And the outcome was to measure traffic, and they increased sales by 25% within 6 months of launch. What, how outcome? Here's another example. They built a PC video game controller. Again, it's a stuck in the what bullet point. But after using WhoLogic, and take a look at what's going on here. We're highlighting the how first. So you can place these things in whatever order you want to. Sometimes you can start with an outcome. Doesn't matter. Utilized an Arduino kit and built a PC video game controller to create easier navigation than traditional gameplay on a computer keyboard. Now, I don't know about you, but if I'm an employer, and believe me, we talk to a lot of employers, they're much more interested in talking with someone who, on paper, can write a little bit more about how they got tasks done and the outcome associated. So remember, this WhoLogic thing is important. You want to get to the how and the outcome. All right. This is an example. I know the font is small here, but if you tuck your head in close to the screen, you can probably see what I'm saying. This is a stuck in the what bullet pointed resume. All the sections are great. You know, they've got contact information, their objective, education, experience, activities, and skills. But when we start reading these bullet points, and yeah, I'm calling them bullet points because they are not value points. They're just listing the work that they did. They offered tours to interested students and families. They email and use social media to share university information. They built a social media presence. They provided excellent customer service. This is all what they did. So I can pretty much guarantee you in an interview, it's going to be hard for them to talk about these experiences in a value-centered way because they haven't done the evaluation or the assessment of value. But here's what happens after WhoLogic. These bullet points become value points. So things like promote the university by communicating history and traditions during tours, delivered to 200 plus prospect students per week, or highlighting communication here. There's the built the social media presence example of a value point. They deployed Google Analytics. They increased sales by 25%. A team member at Taco Bell, they ranked first in district sales competition using persuasive communication skills and product knowledge to promote specials and combinations. The store exceeded targets by 20% each month. Now, do you always have to have these really strong numerical values? No, but when you can, your value point's going to be even stronger. The focus here is highlight your skills using the how question. How did I do the work? And if you can get an outcome, great, share that. So sometimes you can't get all three, what, how, outcome. But if you can get the what and the how, or you can get the what and the outcome, you've got a stronger value point than just a stuck in the what bullet point. All right, so skills first. This is our resume editing and optimization software. You can use it to help you design your resume. You can use it to help you improve your resume for a particular job posting. It's a very comprehensive tool. You can also use it for pitch practice, interview practice. It's a very comprehensive software, and you can find it on our website. So just follow the prompts for resume design. I hope this session was useful for you, and happy resume writing.